I will,
Absolutely.
you know, yeah. Like for IEP information being reduced, if the pool is too small, we may have to redact it.
And I guess I'll just say there were some questions that were raised in an online forum that I'm on about the size of the district budget and whatnot. And my immediate thought was, well, have we looked at the numbers on some of these things about IEPs and 504s and whatnot, but the, you know, some of the frameworks, some of that.
Right has an InfoWorks website,
Okay.
and I think they're up to FY16 for financial data. So really, I'm not sure. So the enrollment history, the next part, go ahead. Yeah, that's each school. Again, that begins from 1994 to FY19, and it's the breakdown between Bristol and Warren, and then the next document that you see is the 13-year average, because the enabling legislation was modified 3 years ago that we have to use a 13-year rolling average, and that's the one. A 13-year rolling average, and then average daily membership beginning with FY14. Okay, the next set of figures, or the next tab, is state aid projection. We received from RIDE the projection of state aid around October 3rd. It's based on the enrollment from the prior year, and it's just RIDE's projection. This is when we first notified that we were going to lose $1 million. And we brought that up to RIDE. Kristen Cole, who is the guru at RIDE for the funding formula, explained in an email that the changes are due to a loss of students, specifically 264 since March of 2011. Our free and reduced eligibility is down 3.6% since 14-15, and state share ratio changes. The most volatility seems to be in the state share ratio. She goes on to say, keep in mind the property values are adjusted for actual sales over the subsequent 2 years and further adjusted for the town's median family income. Therefore, 12/31/2014 property assessment used for FY 2019, which would be the coming year, would be adjusted to actual home sale values in Bristol and Warren for 2015 and 2016. What that means is that our state share ratio in 2018 was at an all-time high for us, with Bristol being at 28.2% and Warren being at 52.4%. To FY 19, the year that we're budgeting for, Bristol 24.1% and Warren 46.4%, which is a substantial change.
Mrs. Silva? Mrs. Silva?
Yes.
Hello. My question to you is, could we have a copy of the correspondence from her?
It's actually in the
It is
Google
in
Doc.
Sideways? Is that the one sideways?
You have it in your book.
So it is in
Right
our
there,
book?
there it is. There it is.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. John, I thought this is where you were going to say that there's going to be a workshop on the funding formula this Saturday, put on by the Association of School Committees.
I was planning to say it.
Did I steal your thunder? I'm sorry.
You stole my thunder.
Sorry. So we get updated from RIDE. I told you the first one came out on 10/13. That's RIDE's preliminary. Then in January, we got the governor's recommended, and as you know, it'll be updated. Actually, they'll do the data poll on the 15th of March, so it'll be updated with the current figures, and then we'll get another projection. But nothing happens until it's passed by the General Assembly. Okay? Patrick, if you could go on to staffing now. Okay, so in staffing, you see the breakdown by building and FTEs, and we also disclose who's part-timers who are counted as one whole, and the changes from last year. Our FTEs this year is 428.55 FTEs, or 440 actual bodies. Of that, 285 are teachers, administrators is 20, clerks and secretaries 32, building teacher assistants 53, and maintenance custodian 33. No, that's wrong. What's that, 33? Oh, 33.44 maintenance custodian, because we have part-timers, sorry. Okay, we could just, again, knowing that we're beating snowflakes here, Patrick, if we could go on to, just pick Holt Andrews. We have every school and the administration, the detail. It's a 5-year detail. You see the class size. Again, sorry for the sideways there. You'll see the class size, how many sections of each grade level we're running. You'll see the number of students by grade level for each location. You'll see the number of students on IEPs. You'll see the building square footage, because we do assign our custodial staff based on building square footage using national averages or national standards for the square footage that custodians can clean. Again, it's a 5-year comparison. You will see bubble classes come and go. You will see as well a count of our average student per adult ratio by year, the increase and decrease in enrollment, the increase and decrease in our staff. By each building as well, you're going to see your free and reduced lunch, your incoming K, your outgoing 5th grade. We share that with the building administrators, and that from my office is the beginning of the budget season. So we have that for every location. Patrick, if we could just go forward now to debt service, please. And even though the tab says debt service, it includes capital projects. I won't wait for him, we'll just keep going. As well, you have the district tech plan. Again, a very detailed document. You see the 5-year device replacement. Capital projects on the 12 right there. You can just blow through it if you like. But that's also in the little handout that we gave to folks the other night. That's our $11 million asset protection plan that's been approved by RIDE. We have a very aggressive schedule, but again, the takeaway there is the fact that this will not cost, we will not incur any additional debt, and it will be paid for by reimbursements from RIDE reinvested right into that capital projects fund. Do you want to go to the debt service one now, keep going down? The last document there. That's the one. Just to reiterate what I said Thursday night, the debt service is our mortgage in essence. We've had about $50 million worth of building additions and renovations for which we bonded for. Our outstanding principal balance at this point in time is around $14 million. What's noteworthy there is it goes down, our debt service payment, which is currently $2.5 million, goes down to $1.5 million next year, and in less than a decade, by 2028, this district will have no outstanding debt unless we bond again. Do you want to go on to the tech budget? And this details, again, our upgrading our infrastructure, our devices, the peripherals, the little add-ons, headphones and mics and keyboards, and those kinds of things, as well as subscriptions that we subscribe to for web-based instructional support, which is vetted by our educational tech director to make sure that they're within the guidelines, and as well by Mrs. Sienna, the assistant superintendent, to ensure compliance with curriculum and so forth. But there it is, again, a resource for you to keep and refer to should you need to. You have the bus contract, you have the retirement rates. Patrick, if you want to fast forward to that. The retirement, because we participate in BWRSD, the Employees Retirement System of Rhode Island, the Teacher Retirement System, and the Municipal Employees Retirement System. Those rates are set by BWRSD every year. In FY19, we're going up 21 basis points on our teacher retirement, and we're going down 2 basis points on our non-certified retirement. That's the next page, Patrick. And I think I put a, yeah, right there. That's down 0.2, as you can see. Health and dental, to reiterate Mr. Stewart's point the other night, we do participate with Rhode Island Global Trust, which in essence is a self-funding group. And if you look at the changes there, since joining GHGRI, our average increases have been 6.32% compared to when we were straight out with Blue Cross, 14.05 was our average. And I'd just like to point out in 97, 98, our increase was 27.88%. Thank God we don't see those increases anymore. As well, in your budget book, we have seniority lists, which are kind of just an FYI. In the insurance folder, I've given you copies of a very high management level report from the trust for our property and casualty experience, as well as our workers' comp experience. The next part of the budget book is the FY19 proposed, and you have it on an intermediate level as well as a detailed level. The intermediate compares 3 years, 17, 18, and 19. The detailed portion is about 300 pages, and it's every ask of our staff. That's where our building-based administrators and our department heads have really put their heart and soul into the budget with their asks, very detailed. So again, to answer a question that was raised the other day, once we get our allocation and we fulfill our personnel needs, then we attack 300 pages and prioritize within there. And the last part of it is the 5-year comp. So this would be a great resource for you to have throughout the year, where it's all in one spot. Thank you, Patrick. So now, I'd like to address some of the concerns that were raised the other night. Well, the first one, thank you. The first statement was that we have a $50 million budget and we had $3 billion that we weren't going to spend. I would like to clarify that. We have a $50 million budget. We have all but 3 million encumbered. So we have encumbrances when we are obligated to pay contracts and the like. 3.3 million was the balance as of January 16th. On February 16th, the balance was 2.3. By balance, I mean unencumbered. And as of today, it's 2.04 million. And just because I have the old year open, on 3/21 of 2017, a year ago, we had 2.7 unencumbered. And we ended that year with 195,000 to the good.
So,
Yes.
so just for our audience, what does unencumbered mean?
Unencumbered means that there's not a purchase order drawn for it, so unencumbered would be expenses such as utility bills, such as services rendered by consultants and the like, budgeted for building repair, well, the normal building repairs. It's everything that we haven't issued a purchase order for yet, but we will definitely spend it. Okay?
I have a question. No, it doesn't include salary.
Yes, it does.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, contracts are covered. It includes salaries.
Oh, yes, it does.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I
So that would
think
be
the word-
substitutes though. That's a lot of it.
Substitutes are on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think a lot of the problem comes with the word unencumbered, like we've just put it in there in case we might need it.
Oh, no.
And I don't know if that's a word that we're required to use, but that money, it's sort of like you went on a trip and you know you're going to get your credit card bill, so you're holding back $1,000, for example, because you need to be able to pay those bills. That money isn't unencumbered, it just hasn't, the bill hasn't come yet.
There's not a purchase order officially drawn against it. So expenses such as utilities and
Right,
substitutes.
I
Yeah.
understand that, but unencumbered means we're just holding it there.
No, that's not true.
Not my
Sorry, that's not
Well,
true.
Not my
I know that isn't what it means in your world.
Yeah.
I know it isn't what it means here.
Yep.
But to somebody out there, it may mean, well, they have that extra money. And so I wonder if there's another word, that's all.
Yes, they do have that extra money in March, but they aren't going to necessarily have that extra money in June because we still have 3 or 4 months left to spend that money. So, and we still have kids that need to be educated and substitutes need to be done and utility bills that need to be paid. So that money, it may not be, there may not be a bill and a contract for which we are obliged to pay it, but we do know that these other expenses are coming over the next 3 or 4 months and we need to be able to pay them. And if you go 52 million in a year, and you got 3 months left and still have only 2 million, I know, personally I'd be nervous, but I know that.
I am. Mhm.
So do
That
we,
was my, no, I understand, that was,
so to help clarify, you mentioned 2 things, I think, utilities and substitutes. We have a list of things that we are going to need to pay for from now until the end of this fiscal year that is going to be using that money.
Absolutely.
Right, so so there is a list, and I'm sure that there are probably asks from teachers that are not going to get covered because we're not going to have the funds, potentially, to pay for those things. So I think that's the big thing to draw is that substitutes, utilities, we have a list of priorities for 2.04, 2.04 million dollars that's going to last us until the end of the fiscal year. Is it, can you elaborate on, you said utility substitutes, is there something, I mean, those are probably too huge, those might be too huge chunks. Is there something that we can look at big chunks that people go, oh yeah, you still got to pay for that? That makes sense.
Substitutes
Yeah.
is a big one. Off the top of my head, no, but I'm happy to go through the budget and detail them for anyone who wants to know. You know, we publish our the school committee report that you get in your report, we publish that on the district website, and I just think that the balance people need to understand that just because it's not encumbered doesn't mean it's not spoken for, and that's what I'm hoping to clear up tonight. It is spoken for, it is, when we created the budget, it was for that specific purpose. We just haven't drawn a purchase order for it yet, or bound by contract.
So to put it in a common household perspective, it's like putting money aside in July and August so you can pay the heating bill in January and February.
Right, sure. That's what I was trying to say. Sounds like-
Yeah. In July, August, September, and October, you have money sitting in an account that you know you're going to have to spend, but you don't have the bill for it yet because you didn't incur it yet. Correct? But if somebody declared education to cease, from existing tomorrow, we'd have that money to be able to give it back to people because we wouldn't have to spend it for anything.
Yeah.
Correct? But going forward, we have a number of things that in order to run the district, that money would be spent for because it's ongoing day-to-day
Exactly.
uses.
Okay, so another point that was raised is, someone brought it to our attention that we had and those of you at home who have access to our financials, on page 41 of our notes to financial statements, it says that we had a bank balance at year end of $12.859 million. And that is correct. We had a bank balance of $12.859 million, of which more than 2.4 of it was outstanding checks. We had a payroll issued on June 30. Clearly, those checks did not clear on the same day payroll was issued. We also had, or have, $181,000 of that belongs to the component unit of Mount Hope High School Builders Association. 1.2 million of it belongs to our business type activities, and by that it's the school lunch program and the COSI program.
How much is that for?
1.2 mil was COSI program. This is on page 18 of the financials. Also included in that figure is $828,154 that's held in the town of Bristol for the loan for Cotandra School. It's not in our bank account, it's town of Bristol. Additionally, there was $288,282 $288,216, which is our student activity accounts that we hold for